Alright everyone, let's get started, and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. Now that we've had a chance to see what my base looks like, and talk about what I want to achieve, let's get on with making us a space facility. Now that said, I am going to have to disappoint you a little bit, because I did talk about the idea that we could build a purpose-built space rocket launch facility where everything's been planned meticulously ahead of time, and I know exactly what I need to accomplish with everything I'm doing, and yeah, that's not what I'm going to do. I have half a plan for what this facility is going to look like. Maybe less than half a plan for what this facility is going to look like. So this could get a little bit interesting as I try to build it. In fact, right from the start, I don't want to just use basic tile to build this, but the upgraded versions of tile, like plastic or metal, require resources which I don't really have that much of. I have a ton of lead, technically, but that's not easy to get my hands on because all of that is down in the oil biome. And plastic, I don't yet have the ability to build whenever I want. So I am going to have to stick with tile for now, but under protest. And we can get started with putting together the tile, and, well, let's see what our space facility is going to look like. And now that the build orders have been put in and prioritized, let's see what my duplicants make of this assignment. Oh, stop complaining. That's right. I haven't touched this since the upgrade, since the update, the recreation pack update. So I actually do have research I haven't finished yet. Well, we'll let them get to that and work their way through the various assignments on their way to making this magic happen. See, this is the annoying part. This is the part when it's like, how do you manage to get yourself trapped like this? Come on. I really don't need more food. I'll take it, but I really don't need more food! What is wrong with you? How is any of that unreachable? I hate this game. I swear to God. This is ridiculous! It's like, I'm going to need to carefully supervise the building process so that the sand around here doesn't actually get anyone killed. This is... Gah! I guess my messing around with priorities has made it so that they're not actually attacking that critter as quickly or as reliably as I would prefer them to. There we go. Are you kidding me? Well, that's probably going to cause some repair issues eventually. Just because that will eventually... Oh, wait. Lies. I lied. It won't. How is anyone idle? Seriously. Oh, you Are you joking? Okay, I shouldn't have put it that way, but... Alright, this is my... Okay, please friggin' clear his way out. Now, please. Now, please. Are you kidding me? Go! This construction process is going to be an ongoing series of catastrophes. Well, and with that, 2 cycles later, well, a cycle and a half later, despite my duplicants' best efforts to make this whole process a complete catastrophe, we seem to have basically finished constructing the bedrooms for the 6 duplicants I will assign to the space facility. Yay! Just about finished, anyway. As soon as they get that last bed built. Now, obviously, these places, despite being functioning bedrooms, these are not actually... Like, I cannot assign any of my duplicants to these spaces. The air quality is terrible, the food is non-existent, and there's kind of no bathroom anywhere to be found, is there? So... there's more upgrades that need to be made before I can call this a functioning facility, and before I can actually assign my duplicants there. So, let's start with those. I should note, by the way, I don't think I'd intended to build this facility quite so close to the surface itself. I had intended there to be a little bit more of a gap between where I'm building and space. However, like I said, half a plan. So, we're going to make this work either way. And this is one of those things that I have to keep an eye on because of my decision to build as high, as close to the surface as I did, that some of these rooms farther up are going to require drywall if I don't want to lose everything to the vacuum of space. Now, I am not overly concerned about the situation, if only because I do have airlocks sealing off access to my base farther into my base. This won't cause me to this won't cause the entire this won't cause my entire base to depressurize. That said, it's still not something I'm really happy about, and I would appreciate if they would plug the hole already. Also, there's a meteor shower going on. That's going to be a thing to deal with in the future. And that technically is the moment at which I breach the surface of the asteroid. Technically speaking, I suppose. Personally, I don't think it counts, because that's the surface of the asteroid. I don't get how this counts as the surface when there's still a huge pile of regolith in between me and the surface, but I suppose I don't make these decisions. Also, that was probably an unjustifiable use of drywall, but the jagged cutoff looks pretty not cool. Also, now that that's been cut out, I would like that door never to open again, or at least not until I'm ready to deal with that part of the asteroid. And I have, once again, completed all of the research I can possibly complete without actually launching a rocket. And, in the process, I have completed a rudimentary... Well, once I build a door there... Whoops. I've completed a rudimentary Great Hall for my 6 duplicants to enjoy. Which means that, as a next step, they probably need some food to put in there, don't they? As I'm working on building my space facility, I do, of course, have to keep everything else running while I do that. And, first of all, it's annoying me. I mean, the calories are going down, which I suppose I expected when I disabled my entire farming operation. So, you know, as that continues to change, we'll keep going. It continually annoys me that it always keeps complaining about oxygen consumption and oxygen generation when I don't see anything to be worried about here. Like, what's actually going on with this sense of my base isn't producing enough O2? Is that just because they're consuming O2 from other sources somewhere around here that isn't tied to my base's oxygen production, but that much of it? I don't know. It's kind of frustrating. Now, I was originally planning to put the farm on top of the Great Hall, but I didn't want to build a farm with too much. I didn't want to expose the base to space too much, so I elected to build that door in instead, and I'll build the farm over on this side, which might introduce some temperature issues, but we'll sort that out in a second. However, before I set that up, I was always originally planning this space to be the base's power core, which is what I've started to get to work on here. I'm imagining... I don't know how many circuits I will need, how many separate power grids I want to have to keep everything properly loaded. So, for now, I've put in 5 transformers. 2 large transformers, which I can use for higher demand buildings and applications, and then 3 other transformers for everything else that the base needs to do. Hopefully that's enough, and I've slotted in a whole bunch of batteries for them to draw on as well. Below that, I'm going to put in some natural gas generators. Because, again, the plan was always to make use of this natural gas geyser to power the batteries, to power this base overall. It's not, of course, close, but so be it. I went through all the numbers and came to the conclusion that that natural gas geyser can sustain, well, could overall sustain 15 natural gas generators. I will not be building nearly that many. That would do ridiculous things to my power generation overall. I am, however, I think going to put in space for 5 natural gas generators, and I will probably not build all 5 of them right away, but we'll see. And at the dawn of cycle 209, maybe about a little over a week into the process of building myself a space facility, I think this is where we're going to call it for the day. I am a little bit disappointed with how much progress I've made. I feel like I haven't made as much as I wanted to. And certainly we're still missing, food, water, right, bathrooms. There's a lot of things that need to be dealt with before I can even order duplicants to move into this space, much less try to start building toward the space facility that is the end goal of this project. But I think we're getting there. With the power core under construction, the bedrooms and the dining room set to go, I think this is the foundation on which we can make this space race happen. So, the continued construction and the progress towards a facility that duplicants can actually live in will continue next time. Until then.